Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today is the day to talk about the Cold Heart Skin Tournament. So last night I posted this about 11 hours ago. I said time is ticking. Let's see how this plays out. Are you winning your Cold Heart Skin? We have a good amount of people actually winning, so congrats to all of you guys. That is absolutely awesome. But my points was 26,000 at the time of this screenshot, which was 3 hours and 20 minutes left of the tournament. And first place person, Addy, had 52,000 points. So I took a few screenshots throughout this event, so I want to give the breakdown and then we'll showcase a Spider Stage 25 run. But let me know down below in the comment section, did you go for Cold Heart? Did you win? And was your bracket very intense? I've seen some pretty crazy points put up during this event. So we'll start off with the very beginning of this event. So when the event started off, I was interested in going for it. Wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to or not because coming off the Krisk event, I was kind of torn. I didn't really want to invest a heavy amount of resources, and I had in my head, hey, if I have to, I'll push to 50,000 points. That should be perfectly fine. So this was probably this was 6 hours left in the tournament. So day one, what I did is I woke up, basically dumped my points and to get 10,000 points very, very quickly. I was hoping maybe if anybody was trying to compete, that would kind of discourage them or something along those lines. The mistake that I made, though, was after doing that, I didn't really push any more points. So from that point until this point, which was 6 hours before the tournament ended, I only pushed about 9,000 points. So right here, this screenshot between my first of the week to now was only 9,000 point different, which isn't that big. Now, keep in mind, MS Crow was in the lead for a long time, and then Addy decided that they wanted to push, and they took the lead pretty quickly and pretty significantly as well. But this is the point where I decided, hey, let's go ahead and turn it up and start pushing. So 6 hours in, it took me 3 hours to get from 19,000 points 19,000 points right here to 26,000 points. That was a very long gap, but during that time, what I was doing is I was going through my mystery shards. I was leveling up my 1-star champions, my 2-star champions. Basically, my idea was that I was going to build up for a big push towards the end. So I wanted to wait until like the last hour, maybe the last hour and a half possibly, and then go from leveling all 1-star, 2-star, 3-star to basically investing in a bunch of 4-star champions and then drop a bunch of brews, do a bunch of campaign runs on Nightmare, and do all that kind of stuff. Because from the beginning of this event, I didn't really have any mystery shards. And you guys can see my shards now. I have no shards. I have 70 mystery shards now, but throughout this event, I emptied these so many times. I was having to do brutal campaign because I had no shards to actually open, and I did spend, I think, 3 gem purchases of shards in the shop, which I did end up pulling a dupe Tyrant Ixelmore, which is pretty cool. I do like Tyrant. He's an awesome champion. I spent about, I guess, 2,700 gems, give or take, maybe a little bit more, but about that for the shards in the shop because I needed some 3-star champions. Now, after this, 3 hours and 20 minutes left of the tournament. Let's go to the next screenshot. I had 26,000 points here. The next screenshot had 29,000 points. So Addy, I was keeping a really close eye on them because 50,000 to 52,000 to 56,000. So for some reason, I guess Addy doesn't sleep because I was hoping that, hey, if I wait till the very end, then they'll probably be asleep. Their lead looked pretty secure, right? Like this lead right here would probably be something that I'd be okay with going to sleep. But granted, maybe they checked my YouTube channel. Maybe they watched the video saying that I was going to push, so they wanted to stay awake for that. But either way, you can see here 50,000 points, 52,000 points, and then 56. So they're moving up pretty similar to me, right? Like in between these last 2 screenshots, they actually went up more than I did. So I knew how much I invested, and they did even more than that. But between this screenshot right here, this 2.5 hours right here, this 2.5 hours out versus this 1 hour and 40 minutes out, so basically 2 hours out, I think I went up a decent chunk. I guess it was the next jump where I actually went up the biggest amount. But here, 29,000 to 31,000, not a big jump. They went from 56 to 58. So they're really staying right next to me. But remember, this entire time, I was taking my 1-stars to 2-star, 2-stars to 3-star, just trying to build up a big stockpile of 4-star champions, get ready to give those a bunch of brews, take them to 5-star, drop a bunch of brews into the 5-star champions, get some 6-star champions and do the same thing there. Basically, I want to say that big burst for the last 30 minutes or so. But at this point right here, between this screenshot and the next one is when I decided, you know what, this is the time to go ahead and test what Addy has. So I want to see if I go ahead and burst a good amount of points, what's going to happen? How is their response going to be? Well, the next screenshot went from 31,000 to 40,000 points. Now that was in about 30 minutes. So honestly, it was a little bit longer than even my initial push was, and this was about 10,000 points. And at this point right here, this is where I said my goal was to get to 50,000 points. This is an hour out. The next screenshot, there's no other screenshot. So this was about an hour out and 40,000 points versus 60,000 points from Addy. So initially, I thought, hey, 50,000 points is what I was willing to get to. If we go back to this very beginning screenshot, I was hoping that they kind of used all their resources, didn't have much more to give at this point, and I would be comfortable pushing up to 60,000 points if I would have gotten to 50 and there wasn't a whole lot of like coming up with their numbers as well. But throughout this entire thing, Addy was moving up pretty similarly to me, like even some points even higher than me, and I knew what I was doing. So I'm like, they do have definitely a decent amount more fuel. I was really running out of stuff. And at this point, I had to make a decision. I wouldn't have been able to clear that gap and make even a bigger gap between Addy and myself, because the way it was right then, they were just moving up too well. And then Addy sent me a message on Discord, and a little friendly competition there. If I was closer, that would have been a fun time. I love it whenever you're doing these tournaments and the people message you on Discord if they can find you. It is definitely pretty cool. A little extra layer competition. But congrats to Addy for winning the Cold Heart skin. Very well deserved. It was fun, to be honest. It would have been more fun if I would have pushed sooner. But on the flip side is I've already faced the loss of going for Sir Nick and it being so close, but then just coming so short and actually losing. It doesn't feel good. But deciding just to quit when you know, hey, I can save my resources. I didn't really waste them because everything that I took up was stuff for Faction Wars that I already wanted to take up, was stuff for Hydra, which I also already want to take up. Let's see what we got. So we're going here to 6-star champions. I got Gaius, I got Glycea, Nari the Lucky, Godseeker, Haruspex, which is for Faction Wars, Castigator, also for Faction Wars. Miscreant Monster, I believe, was taken to 6-star during all this as well. And Stagnite, a second Stagnite for possibly for Hydra. So any champion that was taken to 6-star is champions I wanted to use anyways, and I was going to build them. I just decided, hey, let's go ahead and build them now, even though technically it would have been better to save them for future champion training events. But this worked out perfectly fine. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Obviously, I would have preferred to win the Cold Heart skin, but either way, perfectly fine. It was a good time. So let's jump in here to Spider Stage 25 and check out the OG Cold Heart skin, because that's the only option I have. Now, if this was a Pyroclast skin, the one that's all flamey and fiery looking that looks awesome, I think it would have been a lot more people going for it, because that one is really going to stand out in fire. I mean, you have Sishia, who looks awesome, in Spider, that is. Sishia looks awesome there, and Cold Heart with a fiery skin would look so good too. Plus, if you had a Sishia to go along with it, it'd be a very fiery team. It would look very cool, without a doubt. But they had just the Necrobia skin, which honestly, I don't think it stands out that much on the Spider, which I find unfortunate, especially for people who push 60,000 points. You have a champion skin that, while it is cool, it doesn't really stand out enough, I feel like, for Spider, which is probably the most used place for Cold Heart. But either way, congrats to Addy. Congrats to everybody else who did win their Cold Heart skin if you did go for it. If you got placed in an easy bracket, congrats to you as well, because it definitely saved you a lot of headache, a lot of disappointment. But either way, it was a good time. Progressed my account. Keep in mind with all of these tournaments, don't overcommit. I mean, if you're putting your account in like a potentially terrible spot, just keep that in mind. Is it really worth it? Obviously, the Cold Heart skin was not really worth it per se, except for the value that it looks cool. Now, Chris would have been a little bit different story. I would have put my account in a worse spot for a limited amount of time, because he's just absolutely amazing. He's a champion who you can use to progress through the game. So much different situation there. But the champion skins, they're going to be a good way for Plarium to incentivize players to spend more, because it is something, it's not a nice little, I guess, novelty item to have. But either way, guys, let me know how you did in your bracket. Hope you all did great. Hope you all won, and I'll catch you all in the next video.